Hey friends, welcome to Inside and Out Yoga and Meditation, where every day we help you reach your highest potential inside and out. My name is Colin and I'm your meditation guide. Today I want to introduce you to one of my favorite meditation practices that is rooted in compassion. It's a Tibetan practice called Tonglen, which basically translates to giving and taking. And it's a breath practice where we practice taking the suffering of others and giving them relief. And it can be done as a formal practice like we're going to do today, sitting wherever it is we meditate. But I prefer to use it as kind of a back pocket tool that I walk around the world with, because there is suffering everywhere, and when we're faced with it, we can choose to ignore it and harden our hearts, which makes us worse and makes the world worse, or we can turn towards it with compassion and try to cultivate a compassionate heart in ourselves and towards the world. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to do a formal practice of Tonglen, where we're going to practice this taking and this giving. And we're first going to do this just kind of as an abstract concept. We're going to breathe in suffering, which is hot, foggy, it's dark, and then we're going to breathe out relief, which is bright, clear, cool relief. And we're going to do this just as a general breath. And then we're going to bring someone to mind who in our lives is suffering, and we're going to practice taking their suffering and giving them relief. So let's come into our comfortable positions. Doesn't matter if you're sitting, standing, or lying down, as long as your back is relatively straight and you're not going to fall asleep. Bring the eyes to a close if they haven't already. And starting to feel this rhythm of taking in breath and giving breath. Imagining that you're taking in suffering, cloudy, dark, hot suffering, and giving out cool, bright, clear relief. And just doing a couple rounds of this breathing, taking suffering and giving relief. You can really visualize this if it helps. Visualize yourself breathing in darkness and breathing out light. Or you can feel the emotional weight in your chest or your gut. And if you feel like you've got the rhythm, got the feeling of this taking suffering and this giving relief, bring to mind someone in your life who's suffering. Maybe not someone who's in complete anguish, but someone who's suffering. And practice taking one aspect of their suffering and giving relief. Maybe you take anxiety and you give comfort, or you take helplessness and you give agency. And you can stick with one facet of this person's suffering, or you can move from one to another. Suffering is complex, and you can attack it from many directions. If it's possible for you, really try to connect to the emotional weight of taking suffering and giving relief. Feel beyond the ideas and the concepts. And it's important to note that if you find it difficult to handle this person's suffering, turn the practice towards yourself, because in this moment you are the person who's suffering. And practice giving yourself relief. And in the last minute or so, just checking in with yourself, seeing how you're feeling. Maybe your heart is warm and open. And just letting whatever's there sink in. Good. Maybe slowly allowing the eyes to open. Seeing if you can maintain this sense of compassion, this warm-heartedness throughout your day. And see if you can use this as a tool, because I'm certain that at some point today you are going to come in contact with someone who's suffering in some way, and instead of ignoring it or brushing it aside, turn towards it with compassion and think, what relief could I give this person? And if it's possible that you can give them this relief, do it. As always, I would love to hear how this was for you, so you can comment on this video, you can comment on our Instagram, our Facebook, our TikTok, and I'm glad that we did this.